Chesaning High School's varsity football team won its last 8 regular season games of the 1998 season to win the Mid-Michigan B Conference title.
Well, when I took the head job at Chesaning and looking at the situation and looking at old film, it was apparent that the boys just weren't physical enough in terms of the opponents and who they were playing. So that was the first thing we did.
Weight training became a very, very important aspect of Jim's program.
Probably the second thing that we did was we implemented a speed program, and that paid huge dividends for us.
Jim had a board set up for weight training, so you could see where everybody's numbers were, like who bench pressed what, who squatted what. So you're always trying to, we compete with each other every day with 40 times, with sprint training, with weight training.
I think both of those things, the workouts, the weight strength training and the speed training is what made the difference.
Along the way, the Indians outscored its opponents 265-40. Head coach Jim Zappin's squad opened the Class B playoffs with a 37-7 victory over a strong Frankenmuth team before beating an undefeated Millington team 28-0 to avenge their season-opening loss.
Honestly, I wouldn't change anything about that. I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened, to lose that first game, even though it was a hard pill to swallow at first, especially at home in front of your own fans, and expectations were the highest they've been in a while.
And I told the guys then in the locker room, I said, hey, we will meet up with them again. You're going to get another chance at them. And that was in their minds and in their thought process throughout the whole year, because they wanted to get them again.
In the state semifinal, the Indians defeated perennial power Jackson Lumen Christi 21-14 and would face number 1 Belding, who was making their 3rd straight trip to the Pontiac Silverdome.
What I told the guys was, listen, when you go out there to play that game, you go out there and you act like you've been there before, because they've been there before.
Belding, I think, had been a 2-time state champion when we played them in the finals. I can just remember a lot of scoring going on, and that was really a fun game to watch.
Chesaning outlasted Belding 41-38 to earn its first football state championship in school history. Chesaning's 5 playoff opponents in 1998, Frankenmuth, Millington, Jackson Lumen Christi, and Belding, had a combined record of 40-7, with 4 of those losses coming at the hands of the Indians.
One thing I learned, it takes more than talent to win a state championship.
They knew, because they had the confidence in knowing that Jim had prepared them during the off season, that they could beat anyone.
In 2001, the Indians finished the season with a sterling 13-1 record, the first time a Chesaning football team won 13 games in a season. It took some late heroics to pull off the victory in the Division IV state championship game, as Matt Ferry returned a punt 66 yards for a touchdown with 1:39 left in the 4th quarter to help upset Orchard Lake St. Mary's 14-7.
I guess the punt return certainly was a big thing, and we had really played some excellent defense in that game.
So it was something to beat them, and I believe they were all boys school, so they had the same enrollment as we did in Chesaning, but it was all boys.
I could not have been more proud of a group of coaches that I had known and the community of Chesaning to have an opportunity to witness that game on that particular day.
Its playoff foes, Essexville-Garber, Carroll, Kingsford, DeWitt, and Orchard Lake St. Mary, had a combined record of 60-13, with 5 of the losses coming from Chesaning. Zappin was named the Detroit Free Press Class B Coach of the Year and also was the Saginaw News Dream Team coach. Assistant coaches in 1998 were Joe Boger, Mike McGuff, Tim Haste, Matt Ralbuski, Dan Yates, Steve Titoff, Tom Dodak, Gary Gherkin, Warren Harger, and John Quaterer. Assistant coaches in 2001 were Scott Menard, Josh Walton, Bob Kuhn, McGuff, Yates, Gherkin, Titoff, and Bogar. Chesaning High School is the only public high school in Saginaw County to win 2 state championships under the current playoff format.
How often is it that a public school really gets to win a championship to begin with anymore? Most of them are won by the private schools.
And we were getting excellent coaching. We had some excellent kids. We had great speed, and they just put it together.
Those teams were special. They had great leadership. They had great seniors on the team. They played like they were brothers.
To this day, I still think we had the best coaching staff in the state of Michigan.